Hi, everybody. Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. The end of luxury. And is it time to say goodbye to luxury forever or not? Here's the thing. We have been talking about brands upping their prices, lowering their quality forever now. We have been talking about sales associates not really doing their job correctly and mistreating some clients. We have been talking about also, brands treating their loyal customers in a nice way, but then after certain other tourists take over the city and return tourist purchasers from other continents spend a lot more money, then kind of you're being forgotten as a return customer of the brand, and then they kind of mistreat you a little bit. And then during the lockdown years, they started treating their local customers good again because all of the tourist travelers couldn't travel anymore. And then after the lockdown stopped and those people could come back to the cities, then again the local loyal return customers started being treated poorly. All of that we've been talking about for years, and we know about it. But now that the world is facing some really difficult economical challenges that have nothing to do with any weird diseases, nothing to do with antibiotics or anything, nothing to do with jabs, instead, everything to do with just self-created weird economical challenges, now people are struggling to the point where if you are wearing luxury when out and about, and the luxury items that you are wearing are very clearly either branded or recognizable as belonging or coming from a specific high-end luxury brand, like let's say a Rolex, let's say an Hermes Birkin or Kelly, a Chanel bag with a double C logo, you might encounter certain type of problems nowadays that you didn't encounter several years ago. Now, we have heard stories of people getting mugged from back in the 90s and early 2000s already. You remember the episode of Sex and the City when Carrie Bradshaw is walking down the street in her Manolos or Fendi with a Fendi baguette, and this guy, and she just kind of one block, she veers in the wrong direction by accident, and she all of a sudden doesn't know where she is, and this guy comes and wants to steal all her stuff and says, and give me your Fendi baguette as well. Like, he knew the model of the shoes and everything. She's like, what is going on here? Like, they're mugging you for fashion. So we kind of have heard about this already, but she survived. She survived that muggation. And now the terror has been dialed up, not just a notch, but considerably. Matter of fact, this just happened this past week in London, UK. A young man in his 20s was walking in a very wealthy neighborhood of London, really outside of a very reputable hotel, and he had his Rolex on. And somebody stabbed him until they unalived him for the Rolex. So this is no longer a situation where people break into a car if they see something, you left something on the back seat or on the front seat that looks like it's branded, and they break into the car and they snatch it, and then you got to deal with your insurance company, you got to deal with the police, but you're still alive. It's not like you're entering a restaurant or a bar with your Gucci sunglasses and you just put them on the table for 1 second while you're looking at the menu. Somebody snatches them and runs. You survive. This is not a situation where you're walking down the street, somebody grabs your bag while they're on a motorbike in Italy on a Vespa, and they rush off and with your bag, but you have your life still. We have entered another era. We have entered a whole other level of the end of luxury, because now people seem to have lost that border of respecting another human life for the sake of a Rolex. Like, this is a whole other level people. Like, this is a whole other level where I tell all my friends who live in London, I'm like, now is not the time to walk around being all cutesy and bougie, dressing up, being all fancy schmancy. This is not the time. This is not the time. Because people out there are crazy. Like, they do not respect your life anymore. This is no longer about being envious or jealous or saying, why can you afford a Rolex and I can't? Oh, now I loathe you because you have something I don't have. This is no longer about that weird hate that people have for each other. This is like literally end game, like the last level, and the last level has been reached and breached, and the last level is like, okay, you have something that I don't have, you have something I cannot afford, hence I will unalive you to take it from you. Because not only am I upset that you have it and I don't, I hate you because you have it, to the point where I don't want you to exist anymore. So I'ma stab ya until you're gone, and then I'm gonna have a watch. I mean, you guys, this is insanity. This is insanity, okay? So when people kind of meet me on the street and recognize me from my channel, and thank you everybody for being so kind to me, because whenever I do meet somebody, people are very, very, very kind. They're very gentle with me, and I really, really love to meet my viewers, because I notice that my community is always very gentle and very kind. So it always makes me feel very hopeful for the future. But you might be surprised when you see me out and about. I'm not going to be carrying a Birkin. I'm not going to be carrying a Chanel bag, okay? Because I want to live. Because some people throw shade at me when I take a photo of me being on the street, walking around, for Instagram or something. And then they say, oh my God, why are you wearing cargo pants and that cheap ass shirt? I'm like, first of all, I'm comfortable wearing them. Second of all, I do not want to look like some freaky rich person on the street. Like, that is so tacky, so out of touch. It's just not who I am. And, if you have a problem with how I look on the street because you think I look like a bum, that's your problem. That's not my problem. I want to live and I want to survive, okay, these really difficult times as best I can. By the way, you guys, the hotel where this young gentleman was stabbed until he was unalived, the hotel is right in front of Harrods in London. Like, we're not talking beside Harrods. Harrods has a gazillion different entrances. Everything is in front of Harrods. So, we're not talking about, okay, it's some like bougie area of London, but it's like not central. We're talking Harrods Central. Okay, so the hotel is besides Harrods. The guy steps out. Somebody stabs him, grabs the Rolex, runs. And the poor guy bled to unaliving on the street. They couldn't save him. So, I don't know about you people. I don't know about you, but I think this is really, we have to kind of wake up and smell the coffee. This is no time for showing off luxury. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, you have to count your blessings, okay? Call a spade, and dial it down, not a notch, but 20, 30, 40 notches if necessary. And if it helps you survive, you act crazy. You act crazy, you give yourself a tick. Oh, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. You know how many times I survived the subway in New York because I acted crazy? I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now if I didn't pull a total asylum lunatic crazy shtick in the subway from time to time, just like so that they leave you alone. Like, we have to become actors at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to become actors, and we have to be ready to look. Yeah, exactly. Gummy in the live chat says, bark at them. If you gotta bark, honey, if I have to bark to survive, I will bark, okay? I will bark, I will meow, I will do whatever it takes, because Life is precious, and I do not want to lose my life for a freaking Rolex. Are you kidding me? And it's not just a Rolex, because you might be sitting here saying, well, you know, Rolexes are very expensive, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Let's talk about a Labubu. I just saw a person getting punched in their head because they have a Labubu on their bag and somebody wanted to take their Labubu from them. So we're not just talking about tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of some luxury goods. We're also talking about a freaking Labubu that's like, if you buy it at Pop Mart, is around about $25, depending which Labubu you buy, $25 to $35 to $40. Like, I do not hang Labubus on my bags when I go out and about. I just don't. Period. I don't. You guys, these are crazy times we're living in. And to top it all off, yeah, we're like struggling to make ends meet, paying the rent, buying food. I'm like, but still I see hundreds of people lining up in front of Pop Mart whenever there's a new Labubu launch or a new Skull Panda launch or whatever limited edition. I'm like, so you are struggling to make ends meet, but you can take a whole day off work or whatever. You have enough energy to stand in line all night from like 2 a.m. all the way until they open in 10 a.m. Like hundreds of people waiting to buy a freaking Labubu. So you have the energy for that? So I don't think you have any economical trouble then. If this is something that you're totally fine with doing, then I don't think the shit hit the fan yet for some people. I really don't. I really don't. Because this is insanity. This is insanity. What's going on here, people? And so this brings me to the point where luxury is not only dangerous to our lives at this point, like luxury is dangerous for our lives, but it's also become vulgar, like really, really vulgar. It's become like a very strange status symbol that people adorn themselves with in order to passive aggressively scream at you that you don't have what they have. So it's not something that many people wear nowadays in order to just enjoy the beautiful things, the brand's heritage, you know, stuff that the brands have been making for hundreds of years in some cases. And they're just so happy to have something that is going to last them a lifetime, that they're going to pass on to their kids one day. No, it's like, no. This luxury brand makes 10, 20 collections a year, and I always have to have the newest thing, and I'm going to wear it with the fattest logo I can find so that when I'm out and about, I will scream passive-aggressively to each and every one of ya bitches watching me that I have it and you don't. So that's what luxury has become. It's become this very aggressive, passive-aggressive screaming around everyone, you know, screaming at everyone surrounding you that you have something they don't. And I'm like, well, if that's what luxury has reduced itself to, and then one of the people that are in the crowd that you are passive aggressively, silently screaming at, they step out and say, not anymore, you won't. And then they pull out a knife and then they end up snatching the bag off of you, but you lose your life. Then what are we talking about? This is luxury? It's over. It's game over. This is not the time. So people, be safe. Use your freaking mind for once. Okay? This is no time to show off. This is no time to feed your ego by going out on the street and saying like, look how bougie I am. I can afford it and you can't. This is no time for that shit. Really. Be safe, people. Let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe. Thumb up the video. Bye.